All right. So, hello everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome once again to my channel. My name is Chinyere Wilike of Juliet Style Glam. If this is your first time here with me, thank you so much for being here. And if you already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. It's awesome being with you guys once again. I can't even tell you how much I've missed you all. I can't even say. So yeah, what had happened was I went to the gym because I do work out. I've talked about my weight loss journey before. And so on this day, I went to the gym and I was doing lunges. Now, they were, I sometimes I push myself, I wouldn't say otherwise. And, it felt like, one of those good sessions you've had. So the next time I went for my next session, I was trying to lift, I was trying to do squats and lift weights. And lo and behold, I was having the most intense, unimaginable pain ever in between my thighs. There was no signal, no nothing. I just couldn't lift the weights. So I had to call the coach, immediately. So he was like, okay, why don't you? Because, if you do squats, of course, you know that your legs are apart. So he says, okay, put your legs together, don't put them apart, and then see if we can do the weight. So he watched me. He was like, okay, this should be okay, but don't do the complete set. So I couldn't do the complete set. And so I couldn't, walk. Now, coupled with that, I ate something. And if you've had experience with eating something that doesn't agree with you, you'd never want to talk about it. You just don't wanna. So yeah, and I could not just function. And come to think of it, I've just been on this mind-boggling discovery that ever since I moved to Europe, I've had more cases of, gastro than any time in my life in Nigeria. It's weird. It's super weird because, one would say, okay, Nigeria, blah, 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 blah. But I will tell you, gastro has never been something I had to contend with in Nigeria till I came here. It's insane. Anyway, so yeah, I'm holding my mic today because the thing just refused to stay on my beautiful, sweater. I'm wearing a wool sweater today. And I've got, of course, my jewelry and my brooch and yeah, a new hairdo. Let's see how this one is going to work. All right. So how you guys doing? So today, our topic, we're going to be talking about Balmain. Now, if you have been on the social media space, last week, there is a fashion brand called Tongoro. Tongoro is an African fashion brand from where is it again? Just hold on, because I have to make sure that it's from Senegalese. Now, Tongoro is a fashion brand from Senegal, accused Balmain of stealing their designs. And you guys, this is not the first time, okay? We've had a lot of cases. Okay. Now, why I'm talking about this today is because, most people in Africa, and most countries in Africa, many of the things that we do are inspired by our own tribes, ethnicity, culture, and everything. And so by the time we work and bring out designs, I find it quite offensive and, in all honesty, fraudulent that, it's les maisons that decide that they're going to rip off, of these small or these African designers. Because mind you, one thing you have to understand is that Balmain or Louis Vuitton or whatever they call themselves, will not go to these countries and sit down and watch their fashion shows. They'll never do that. They'll never pay the money. They will never go to these countries and try to collaborate with them. You see, that is actually, my grouse is plenty. Okay, I'm so upset about this. Now, that said, we've also got, so many of them. They have their fashion shows. I mean, like, for example, in Nigeria, I've got the Lagos fashion show. We also have the Ghana, different of all these, countries in Africa that, showcase African designs inspired by culture. It's quite, because Naomi walked Balmain, and I'm wondering how, she did not notice, and on how she did not, she wasn't quick to call out Balmain on this, because Naomi is someone I love so much, and I respect her so much in the world of fashion, and the fact that she is 100% invested in African fashion and pushing the African narrative and the culture. She has been invested in that. She has been vested in it from day one. So, I'm wondering how she did not quickly see this and say, dude, we can't be doing this. I mean, Naomi, with the Pretty Little Things collection, she drew the numbers, the crowd, because it was Naomi. And I put it it's on my community page. If you've never seen it, go check it out. She actually took designers from Nigeria to help and to, create the PLT collection. And that is totally awesome. And I have to give it to her. And so when we come down to the basics of things like this, where we have designers who are originators of their own designs that are brought from the belly of our motherland. And then we have people who do not care, because if you ask Balmain, ask Louis Vuitton, Versace, ask any of them any question about any African country, dating from history to whatever, they can't answer. They don't even know. They won't even care to know who Tongoro fashion is. They don't. And for me, that reeks totally of rudeness and downright fraud. I'm sorry. There's no other word for it. It's fraud. And again, this is not the first time that a designer has stolen from this particular designer. And so I'm going to very quickly read an article on this. It says, it's Paris Fashion Week and not everyone is pleased with the designers who are showcasing. Often people get excited when they see designers launch their newest collections. However, there were mixed reactions about the Balmain Autumn Winter 2024 collection. Olivier Rousteing, the creative director of Balmain, received backlash after launching the menswear collection at Paris Fashion Week. Now, again, these are brands. Personally, I don't consider Balmain luxury. Yeah. I mean, living in France, you will know what is luxury and what is not. That's it. And it didn't take me long to figure out, because I love fashion. I'm a fashion enthusiast. And so it didn't take me long to figure out the concept of fashion and being able to look at it in different forms and in different ways appeals to me. And so personally, I don't consider Balmain a fashion brand. In fact, in France, Balmain is not considered a luxury brand. All of you who are busy spending your money on Louis Vuittons and co, you guys got to do a ring check, because what you're buying is not leather. Okay, right. Now he's been accused of copying the Tongoro Cairo face jewelry piece. Now, I mean, this same the pictures are on my community page. I'm also going to put them in the video so that you can actually see. And the pieces are fantastic. The one from Tongoro, they are phenomenal. Now, I said at first, Balmain followers thought Rousteing had collaborated with Tongoro. You see, that's the thing. I just said it before I read this. They don't even bother to do the collaboration. I mean, come on now, come on. right? And they said, only to find out that they didn't credit them at all. No collaboration, no credit. All right. And then Sarah Diouf, and Diouf is a very common name in Senegal, the founder of Tongoro, did not take it lightly and took to social media to talk about this. Now, she has actually made this piece, in 2019 of May in Dakar. And this piece is inspired by the Wodaabe tribe men's makeup. Now, the Wodaabe tribe is a tribe in, I think it's the eastern part of Africa. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to check it out. And they would usually decorate their foreheads. Okay, it's a marriage rite to get a fair maiden, and it's quite interesting to look at. So they would paint the middle of their faces, and then they would have clay on their faces. And if you know anything about not just in most countries in Africa, red clay plays a very, very significant role in beauty products in Africa. Growing up, I remember my parents used to tell us stories about the clay. We had the ones they called unzu. We had the other one. And then the red clay, one of the stories behind the red clay was that when a girl was to get married, that she used the red clay. The red clay was used to scrub her skin. And so much so that when it's scrubbed, she begins to glow. And it's true, because we used to do it as kids for fun. So we would go and then we would pick up red clay, because we have lots and lots of parts of Nigeria that have red clay. But there is this particular one. And when I schooled in Enugu, I actually got to know different types. And so this particular one is quite, it's chalky and it's smooth. And so we use it on the skin. It's such a beautiful thing. And we use it on the skin, on our skin then, because our parents had told us so much about it. We really wanted to experience it. And for real, it does make your skin glow, because after using it on the skin, after scrubbing, and then you wash it off. Usually you wash it off and pat your skin dry. You don't rub, you pat it dry. You begin to see your skin like it's glittering. Facts. I did it as a child. I did it. So I know what I'm talking about. You would look at your skin and it's glittering. You see little, dusts of glitter on your skin. And so that's the story behind the red clay as a beauty product. I can't remember the local name. I'll have to look for it and I'll put it in the video so you can see it. And now many other tribes and cultures have different forms of clay. In India, I think they have the argil, and there are so many. And each one of them is a beauty enhancing product. And so these Wodaabe men would use and decorate their skin with clay, and sometimes they had yellow on it, and then the one that will come in the middle of their faces. And it's quite an amazing ritual to watch. And so Dior Fruit, the visible similarity of the piece presented by Olivier Rousteing for his Balmain FW24 men's collection to ours is a challenging and painful event. That I agree. Questioning yet again the actual regards Western brands claim to have towards African creativity, while openly saying being inspired by it. For how long? Exactly. Because she's not getting a check out of that. No, she isn't getting a check out of this. And mind you, this is not the first time she's been stolen from. All right. And so the Senegalese designer said she launched the jewelry in May. I've said that. And she has always, and the reason is that she said, I've always been intrigued by African traditional facial ornaments, and the Wodaabes are by far one of the most fascinating to me. The traditional face painting, which can take up to 6 hours, okay, emblematic of their tribe, is done for the Jerawal ceremony, an annual courtship competition where men are judged by their face and jewelry. You see that? And she's right. Most parts of Africa, actually, it's just like India. When an Indian is getting married, you see them, the woman is adorned from head to toe. In Nigeria, the Igbo tribe where I come from, when you're getting married, you are adorned in coral beads. Now we don't have any original corals. My mom did have, and those things are freaking expensive. Original coral beads. Yes, my mom did have them. Yeah. And you'll be adorned in original coral beads from head to toe. Till date, we still use those body adornments. In Onitsha, we have the people of Onitsha. They wear white ivory beads. The men would wear around the neck, and then the women will wear they're usually this big bangled ivory beads, ivory bangles on their hands, on their wrists, and on their legs. And they would have it also around their necks, on their head. Every tribe, she's right. Every one of these people are represented in Africa. Every tribe, every ethnic. And you see, that's the thing about Africa, and where I just want to go a little bit, political, just a little bit, why colonialism was a disservice to us. Because back home, and I think this is something Chimamanda has said a lot of times, we identify by tribes. We don't identify by country. And that has always been Africa. And so you can see that reference is made here. Even when I speak about myself, the Yorubas are known also for adorning themselves in beads too. Okay, they don't use the coral. They use they have the Yorubas would use the ones on the waist, but they are not coral as well. In Igbo also, we use the coral beads on the waist. We call jigida. Okay, and every one of these things are significant. Every one of them. So when you see things like this, it's hurtful, And so we now move on to, I just don't want us to, I want to just, talk about the fact that also, this is not the first time. Now, the Business Insider Africa actually put out an article on this. 6 times luxury fashion brands appropriated African designs. 1. We have business leader, Sub-Saharan Africa, has compiled 5 other times designers have used African designs and felt the clapback. Marc Jacobs, dreaded runway. Marc Jacobs did it, and he used, in spring 2017 show, he used dreadlocks. We all saw that one, and we all knew how it went down, on the social media space. Louis Vuitton, bootleg Maasai collection. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. And so he also did that, and he used it to inspire his 2012 collection called Maasai. Now, you see that play on, and you see, that is the thing, when we see lots of Africans who just, go crazy in designers. And I'm like, do you even understand that all these things are being created for you? It's not for them. It's not for them. It's for you, the black man, because they know that we have a need to always want to show ourselves. Yes, get that. If you understand that concept of what designer brands do, and when they do things like this, do the math. You will see that the idea of Louis Vuitton calling it the Maasai collection is simply he wanted to appeal to black people. Get it? And so you go there, you give them your money. You just keep throwing your money at them. And they keep getting richer. We also have Valentino. Valentino does the primitive tribal wear, and he called it the wild tribal Africa. Primitive, tribal, spiritual, yet regal. Now look at that. Primitive, tribal. I don't know where someone gets the audacity. I don't get it. You have the audacity to call a people primitive? Who are you? I don't know what you understand, and I don't know where they got that definition, that word. I don't understand primitive because I have a different lifestyle to yours. My culture is different from yours. Makes me primitive. That is a slap on the face. We also have Burberry. Burberry's 2012 collection, and they denied it, in fact. In fact, I mean, that is rich. They denied it. And he says it was Christopher Bailey who was the designer. And he said that what his pieces inspired, the pieces were inspired by British sculptor Henry Moore. Now, these designs drew heavily on East African kitenge. You see, in Africa as well, the fabrics, the textiles have names. In Yoruba, we've called ashoke. In Ghana, you hear the kente. In Igbo, you have akwete. You have George. In Hausa and in the north, we have, oh gosh, I've forgotten the name. The Tiv tribe. Theirs is black and white. I'm going to look for the name and I'm going to put it here. The Fulani, they have theirs. The Hausas, they have theirs, and they have theirs with a cap. Then you now go to Ghana, we've got the kente, and then you have East Africa, the kitenge. Then you also, you see, in South Africa, each one of these textiles it's like an identity, you know, and the culture in Africa is so rich and amazing and beautiful. The colors, the richness, the vibe, it's alive. And so when you come out with a textile, with a wrapper, anyone looking at you already knows where you're from. When I come out with an akwete, anyone looks at me and says, oh, you're Igbo. You see? I come out with an ashoke, because ashoke is like everyone is, because we've got ashoke, you know. And we come out with an ashoke, oh, you're Yoruba, or probably you know someone who's Yoruba. Okay? Adire. I remember I actually commented some years ago on Frederick Brose when she did a video about tie-dye. And, you know, I felt like that I felt like the play on tie-dye was not fair. And I actually did tell her, I said tie-dye is actually from the Yoruba tribe. It's actually cultural wear. I've got tie-dye, an outfit in tie-dye. I'm going to attach the picture here, you're going to see. And it comes in different forms. It has silk, it's got cotton, but it's so many different types, you know. And you see, these are the things. And so when you are actually stealing, and then you open your mouth, you dare say that there was no African influence, rather that it was inspired by Henry Moore. Henry Moore is not East African. That I'm sure. That I'm very sure. Okay? And then we have this one. And this has been going on for a long time. And I'm going to end this video by saying one thing that I've known, and how I know that is because when I opened my business counselor told me the same thing. I opened my business as a jewelry designer, and he told me, and I never knew. And he said, as a jewelry designer, you go and pay for your design patent or copyright. I did not know. Now, the copyright is cheaper than a patent. But then in France, they actually create room for you as a jewelry designer to be able to patent your designs as much as possible. You can copyright first because that is legal and that will stand in any court of law, and then work towards patenting. Okay, I'm going to leave the video of another. She's a lawyer, your fashion attorney. I'm going to leave her video here to end this video. Okay, for designers, especially jewelry. And there's so many categories. And I'm sure most of these MFs most of these guys knew that most designers in Africa did not know this and haven't known this, and that's why they've been doing it. So I'm going to leave her video, and she's going to tell us, and she has all the story, all the tea about being able to protect your designs. And on this note, guys, thank you all so much for being here with me. Thank you all so much for being a part of this family. Do not fail to like, do not fail to comment, do not fail to subscribe on this channel, and like, comment on this video. And I'll see you guys, you wonderful people, in my next video. Bye.